Toby, welcome to Yachting USA. What a pleasure
Yeah,
to have you
thanks,
on
Rick.
board, sir. It's been a fun run.
Yeah.
And welcome to beautiful, beautiful West Palm Beach. This boat show is magnificent this year, the weather. And then you look at these boats, there's, it reminds me kind of like early Monaco days with some of the big boats coming in and just kind of the groove, the ambiance going on here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's pretty relaxed. I mean, there's obviously good clientele walking around the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got that great vibe. I think, certainly we've had a lot of interest on board this boat, on board Fox. And I think, it's quite easy to approach the boats. It's quite easy to engage the clients here. I think it's got something special going here.
I think so too. I think so. I think this is going to be the destination show in Florida in the years to come for sure.
Yeah.
So let's introduce you. We've known each other for close to 20 years, I'm guessing. Pretty close to
if
it.
not a bit
Anyway.
more, yeah.
If not more for sure.
Yeah.
A managing director of Pendennis Shipyards. Tell me a little bit about, let's go back in history a little bit. Tell me a little bit about how you got into the maritime space. What was that like? I mean, I'm sure you just didn't follow it to it.
Well, boating, like a lot of us, boating has always been something in my life. I mean, I started sailing dinghies, little optimists when I was young, moved up to lasers.
Oh, wow.
Always been boating. I think I did the first Bay of Biscay crossing for me when I was about 16.
That's a big bay too.
Yeah, just down to La Coruña. Great fun. And after that, sort of after university, I was sailing in Australia in Sydney Harbour, just skippering boats with backpackers, sailed around the Whitsundays. So yeah, boating's always been there for me.
Got it in the blood.
Yeah, kind of in the blood, but not necessarily a career. That happened a bit later. But but as a sport, windsurfing, sailing, it was always for me.
Well, we have that in common because when I was 11 years old, I think I was in the Optimists and learning to sail, and what a great way to get to know the ocean. And then I was racing the 16-foot Hobie Cats.
Oh, really?
That was great fun. And then early on, before I started the company you met me with, Nautical Structures, I helped a friend of mine deliver Irwin sailing catches, 63-foot sailing yachts built in St. Petersburg down to St. Thomas, St. Martin. So that was really interesting, going out in the ocean, open ocean, and 10-day trips to bring boats from the west coast of Florida down island. And that really teaches you a lot about the ocean as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of an eye-opener, isn't it?
It is.
When you look at dinghies and Hobie Cats, I mean, you cartwheel a Hobie Cat, you just get catapulted somewhere.
Yeah,
you do that on a big boat, then you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you are. But I do remember being swung out off the side of the boat while we were on some broad reaches and just, flying out over the water and just going, it was spectacular. Or being out in the ocean, there's 20-foot seas, but the periods are so long. You just kind of, it's just so, it's almost like, it's so special.
It is. Yeah, so I agree.
The ocean's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So you did the young adult thing. You went off backpacking. You kind of found your space and
I studied marketing and French, so I spent quite a bit of time in France. So I worked in the wine industry there. And then after that, I completed my studies and went traveling for a couple of years. That's how I ended up in Australia. And then came back through Asia, did quite a lot of hiking and walking in the mountains in the Himalayas and things like that.
Did you have a favorite place while you're down there?
I think for me, West Coast Australia, I thought was really special. Up by the Bungles, up near sort of...
Is that north of Henderson and all that?
It's northwest peninsula, so you're the Exmouth Peninsula, the Ningaloo Reef. It's kind of the Barrier Reef, comes over the land from the east coast, and there's a little bit left of it on the west side near Broome. And that's very special. Wow. And there's an incredible off-country 4x4 road that runs from near Wyndham all the way across the Gibb River Road through rivers and things. And I drove across that in a Ford Falcon station wagon.
Any crocs out that way?
Oh yeah, there's a few around there. Yeah, you can be careful where you swim.
I bet.
And then I drove all the way around after doing a bit of sailing. And and I came back to the UK and started.
Well, why would you go back to the UK after being in a place like that? That would be tough, wouldn't it?
Well, I was 2 years traveling. I did think about staying, but I miss my family, and UK is my route. So
right.
I came back and I thought it's about time to get a bit serious and start a career.
Cool.
So that's when I started to look at either the journey through wine or the journey through boats. And
they go together, right?
Well, they do. I think
in some ways,
they complement each other.
They do that.
Yeah.
But there's probably I can't say. I was going to say something silly like there's more money in boats, but wine's pretty special too. You can make big investments there.
I think so. I mean, I was very lucky. I worked in Bordeaux, so there's some beautiful wines down there. So I sort of learned the wine trade down there. Did quite a lot of wine tasting and things. So
the Montrachet product comes out of that area, doesn't it?
No, not Bordeaux.
Oh, okay.
Bordeaux is kind of a blend wine. Where I was is in the Medoc in Pauillac, which is where Motor Rothschild is, Latour, those kind of very special vineyards, really. So
Oh, cool.
I
I
go
learned
there
something then.
I go over there, back there every now and then, just to keep a tasting.
Yeah, touch the root there a little bit.
Yeah,
No, that sounds fun. So, as I recall, you back in the UK, and you started working with the equivalent of what we have here is the Marine Industries Association, or the NMMA, a British marine trade organization, right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So I came back and I was looking for job opportunities, and I think I started as the international executive, I think it was called. So it's basically helping British marine businesses export or get involved in international trade. So that's when I started taking companies to boat shows, doing work with journalists, trying to promote British equipment worldwide. Mm-hmm. And it just got bigger and bigger. And then we even got involved in sort of international development, supporting boat shows in India, Olympics in China, in Qingdao, setting up the sort of super yacht trade body as well, which is how I started to get to engage with some of the top sort of designers in the world, and also some of the top shipyards like Pendennis.
Right. Now, when you joined Pendennis, Hank was at the helm?
He was, yeah. Hank and Mike together, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What a special group of guys that was.
Oh, really? I mean, not just mentors in my life, but amazing friends to myself and my family. And we're very sad to lose Hank. And,
no doubt. I remember when I first started doing business with Pendennis, Hank personally came out and introduced himself to me, which I thought, I was a young pup at the time, and I thought that was pretty special.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty special boatyard as well. And
it is. I mean, it's really a family company, really, in the way it's run, the way it's operated. And Mike's been inspirational as the chairman.
Yeah.
He's the joint MD with Hank when I went earlier on, but he's the chairman now. But,
yeah. And how's Mike doing?
Really good. Yeah, really good. He's traveling at the moment.
Good for him.
He's trying to do a little bit less, but he's in the yard pretty frequently still, coming to give us guidance and support where we need it. But yeah,
fabulous.
Mike's been a great support to us.
Well, you just touched on something, family business. I am all about that. And there's so many rabbit holes I can take us down, but one of those is, there's a lot of M&As happening in the industry right now.
Yeah.
And I was just interviewing Pat Healy, the managing director, CEO of Viking Yachts, one of the most successful boat builders in the United States. Yeah. They've got 4 generations working in that shipyard right now, with his father, the first, retired, but still living and still kind of paying attention to what's going on. And he made it clear in our conversation, and Pat and I go back almost 35 years together in our relationship. So we've got that insight. He said, Rick, this is a family business. It will always be a family business. We're not going to sell this business corporately. It stays in the family. Yeah. I thought, bravo. Because, when I got into this industry, it was a cottage industry in a lot of ways. It was a lot of passion, a lot of family businesses, cottage industry in some ways. And I thought what that brought to the table with this passion was the creativity and the detail and the uniquenesses of a yacht, so different than any other product you buy. And so one of my concerns is when I see all these M&As happening is it good for the industry? It's probably good for the shareholders, but is it good for the yachting industry itself? Or are we going to lose some of that cottage industry, some of that creativity or that passion?
Yeah.
And that's the question, I guess. So what do you see happening on your side of the pond? There's
been quite a bit of that in the UK. I mean, obviously, we're structured as a privately owned business. I mean, the reason I talk about a family business is because, we're not a subcontract model. We train our own, we grow our own. I mean, we've been running an apprenticeship program for many, many years now.
I remember that.
So we've trained over 350 apprentices in Falmouth. And you're talking about Viking, you can walk around the shipyard and I'd hope they all know who I am. I'm sure they do. But you see apprentices in the yard and their brother or their father or their mother might be in the shipyard as well. So it's a really sort of, I suppose, a community-based business. Falmouth's not a huge
there's
place.
Real heart. No, it's a beautiful seaside community.
It is. But we're very conscious of the fact that we're living and working within a community, and we reach out and touch quite a lot of the community with our day-to-day work. So we support lots of local businesses, lots of local sports clubs, charities. 1 week every year. Recently, it was only a few weeks ago, we have Apprenticeship Week in the UK. And our apprentices go all around the community. They build cricket nets, they build gardens in schools, And we just basically advertise, look, if you've got a project, you need our guys to come and help, we'll come and do it.
That's great.
Yeah, so I think the community feel, the family feel is something that runs really through the DNA of Pendennis. It's really important to us. And that, is something we want to sort of emulate, whether it's with Cockwells or Villanova or Norfolk. It's the same sort of thing we're projecting in terms of our DNA, our family approach to running a company.
Right on. I also talk about what's happened in the U.S. boat building industry, and you've observed it, I'm sure, because when I got into it, if you just put the shipyards in the box that build over 33 meters, 100 feet. We had 32, 33, 34, somewhere in that number back in the late 80s, early 90s. And now there's less than 3 left, I think, which is tragic. It's sad. Yeah. And I'm aware of some UK shipbuilders that have gone away as well over the last decade or two. Although Northern Europe seems to be flourishing, Italy's flourishing. Turkey's starting to do really, really well. What's your takeaway? Is it just it's just a tough business, or is it the strength of the pound or the dollar or the euro, or what's driving these situations from your perspective?
I think it is a tough business. It is a tough business. It's not easy, and I think every company's got to push where their USPs are sort of set up and how they're trying to deliver service and the quality of the product they want to put to the client. I think from our point of view, we cover refit, rebuild, restoration, and new construction. We've got quite a few sort of irons in the fire. Yeah. And we can flex our business trying to accommodate that. Yeah. And having our own trade base, our own skill base, there's across the group, about 700 people. Yeah. We're able to try and really put the effort where it needs to be.
You can pivot when you need to.
Yeah, you can pivot and flex what you want to do, really. But like you say, it's tough. It's tough. And we've seen New Zealand companies, Italian companies, Dutch companies, everybody's had their sort of casualties on the way. Yeah. I think it's quite hard to sort of pinpoint, well, that didn't work there because of X. You could always refer back to a currency issue or a problem product or a problem build or something like that. But, like you say, it's difficult. We've got high value products here and the risk's quite significant. So everybody tries to put in place elements of protection, quality control, try and make sure they're always hitting the mark. But it's a tough place. It's a tough place to operate in.
And no doubt about it. It is. So it's a little level of satisfaction as well when you get to this point. You're still standing, and you've got projects going on. And you've got the legacy of your people, and that's a good indication. It's a good indication that you're a safe brand to go with when it comes to trying to figure out where you want to build a boat.
And I think it's supporting your boats is really key as well. And I've just had the privilege of being on board Adela for the last couple of weeks racing in the Caribbean. And it wasn't just me there. We had a hydraulics engineer there, an electrical engineer there, just on standby to support, the racing kind of setup for the 4 or 5 boats that are racing there. And I think it's important to try and give that continuity of care. It's important to the fleet. You got the best sellers for us are the owners themselves. So most of our activity or most of our inquiry base comes from referrals, client referrals. We like to retain our clients who look after them.
Well, that's the highest compliment. If you build a client a boat and they come back and say, that was so good, let's do it again.
Yeah. Or bring the friend, and say, hey,
you got to do it here, you know. Yeah. And you've got a lot of competition just across the waterway from you. Yeah. That's profound,
Yeah, we've got some big players there across the channel.
Yes, you do.
But we're there to give them a run for their money. And there are projects that aren't relevant to us that we don't compete with.
That's the beauty of this industry and this particular space, because these boats are all so unique. And, so everybody can have their little niche and do very, very well in their space. And so, you get overlap here and there. But, like this boat we're on right now, I'd like you to tell me a little about it. It's Motor Yacht Fox.
That's right.
A year ago. Yeah. I saw a little bit about it when it first came out, and I thought, wow, this is a different Pendennis. Yeah. But it looks like a good sea boat. Tell me, give me the lowdown. Well, give our audience a little bit of lowdown here.
She's a pocket ship, really. So she's just under 35 meters, shallow draft, so she can play around in the Bahamas quite comfortably. I mean, she's heading straight there from here, really. Yeah. She's got 5 staterooms. Own a main deck, which is beautiful, with a huge aft deck space area.
Yeah, we walked on board that way.
It's vast. And I'm very proud also of the systems on board. The whole engine room has been fitted out by our guys in the shipyard. So the hydraulics, the electrical systems, the engineering systems, they're all Pendennis installed. So it's a very easily accessible area to maintain and look after, all hidden underneath that big aft deck space.
Yeah.
So every toy that you want to play with can get on here. You've got two
big cranes
two
there.
big cranes you can lift on and off, different bits of fun that you might want to
you look like you got a lot of utility back there for that.
Yeah, depending where you want to be, if you're in the sun or you're in the cold. Or
the swim platform looks like you get some good access to the water there as well.
You can, and I think you've got the boat has with this really high freeboard.
It does.
You got great volume in her. I mean, just going down into the guest areas is high deckhead space. She's a really well appointed boat.
She bunker enough fuel to travel?
Yeah, well, she's here. She came on her own bottom straight across the Atlantic. So proof's in the pudding. She's right here.
Trial, right? Yeah.
So it's not just me saying she can come across. She's here.
Right,
so,
right.
She was in Cannes last year at the show there. And just behind you is a good set of DJ decks. So she's good for a bit of party on
Why not?
on that space as well.
Absolutely. It reminds me, there was a boat that you and I worked on together a number of years ago called Steel.
Yeah.
And that was a really special boat. I thought, wow, that's kind of breaking the mold a little bit. And she went around the world.
She did. I mean, like you say, I mean, our industry, and particularly Pendennis's business, is the truly custom business.
Yeah.
Just see it as one of those boats where you won't find another one.
Right. I love it.
And, you walk around the shipyard today, you've got boats from the 1930s. You've got boats that are just coming in 5 years old for a special survey.
Do you see that Trumpy over there?
Yes.
Oh, man, well, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, there are some very pretty boats around here.
Yeah,
but we love that kind of unique classic boat. In St. Bart's recently, we've got the recently delivered Seawolf, which is a 1957, ex-tug that's now been made into an amazing boat. I mean, absolutely incredible boat, led by a passion from a couple who really wanted to bring her back to life, but also give her a good contemporary system-based infrastructure as well. She's an incredible boat. So she was just anchored off Gustavia during the racing, which was lovely to see.
Now, I think I understood that you got down to St. Bart's still racing.
Yeah, I was on Adela, at the back of Adela, looking after the runners for the mainmast. So, we were really proud. She won her class in Antigua, came second in St. Bart's, so not quite the trophy there on the podium, but the last year was a little bit tough on her, but this year she really did excel. So it was great to see.
It's great for you, and it's good for the brand as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good fleet there. I mean, we had Rebecca, Nostromo, Katharina racing there as well.
I mean, those that know Pendennis know that you are fundamentally a sailboat manufacturer that's built a few beautiful motor yachts. That was my understanding when I came into the yard years ago. Yeah, well, we've done some really kind of iconic sailboats. I mean, Adela, that we talked about, but also, Addix is a boat that we also built and look after. She's in the shipyard at the moment. We've got a Taurus in there at the moment that we're refitting. But boats like Nostromo's a Pendennis new build, Mamamuchi now Tanaz. We've also built some amazing boats. Christopher, the Ron Holland design ketch, we've got her as well. She's raced in some Barts before. So yes, we've done some really amazing sailing yachts. Yeah. But I suppose more recently, and after the last 15, 20 years, we've done quite a lot of these beautiful restorations. Fair Lady, I remember that.
Ada, both boats from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Melania Morala, Mariette, 1915 schooner. So we've had this kind of column of really amazing classic yachts, both motor and power, come through the business, running alongside these new construction projects. And then equally transforming some amazing modern boats like Cakewalk to Aquila.
Right.
86 meter that we completely transformed. There's some, as I said, it's a truly custom business, and we sit down and deliver what exactly the client wants.
Tell me a little bit about the shipyard. It's been 4 or 5 years since I've been there.
Right.
What are the amenities? What are your capabilities in the shipyard?
So we've invested and continue to invest in the yard over the years. So we've got, I suppose, as you haven't been there for a while, I mean, we've got these construction halls now that really link into a wet basin area.
I saw the wet basin area come together. I know what that looks like.
That's brilliant for sort of arrival and departure for commissioning.
Yeah.
We can control the tide within the basin. the outer arm is 100 meters long with a helipad next to it. So, you can put nearly anything in there. And then the 800-ton hoist can lift anything out into the halls, 90-meter halls, all covered, construction modern halls. And we've got a twin sort of 40-meter hall. And then obviously that you've seen before is the big dry dock, the 150-meter dry
that's
dock.
fundamental. With that dry dock, you can do so much.
Yeah, so everything above 800 tons will go in there.
Right,
At the moment,
right.
we've got 2 fed ships in there currently. We're busy. Good number of projects underway. But, it's all great having a facility like that, but you need all the people. You need the teams to do it.
At the end of the day, and that's a conversation that keeps happening and happening and happening. Where do you find the people? We mentioned the apprenticeship programs that you guys run, which is fundamental, I believe. And part of it too is us old guys doing a good job of reaching out to the young people like my son behind the camera to encourage them to look at the career opportunities. So many kids go off to university thinking, they're going to kill it that way. And they come out of it with a lot of debt and without a lot of real direction. Yeah. And I think sometimes we forget that the vocations can be very, very lucrative and give you a very solid foundation for having career and growth and opportunities. So that's our responsibility too, I think, is to attract young people into our industry.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, in the yard, we have obviously our strength of our apprenticeship program, but equally at the same time, we have retirees that are back in training them. So that skill transfer continues, that cycle, it works very, very well. I mean, like I said, I was in sailing last week, but I wasn't on my own. I mean, with me was kind of an apprentice plus 3 years. So, we try and make it our goal to take and give these experiences to the next generation coming through. So they're ready to go and they know what to expect.
That's fantastic.
So, and equally having Villanova in Spain, having that Pendennis facility there.
Yeah.
We can send teams out there and they can get that kind of overseas experience. So it's not just about starting and working in a shipyard and staying there for 30 years.
No.
You're opening up new doors, new opportunities.
Right.
And I think we recognize that has to happen as well to make sure you fulfill, individuals' dreams as well at the same time.
It's important. The future, what do you got going on? We have any new construction coming up, new big refits that are profound, interesting?
Well, we've got about 10 boats in the yard at the moment.
Wow.
We're building an electric catamaran that's going to be on the Thames in front of the Houses of Parliament.
Oh,
so that's it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot different. Aluminium hull?
Yeah. Aluminium hull. It's going to be going up and down, taking passengers up and down the Thames the back end of this year. So that's quite an exciting innovative project.
That's kind of cool.
We've got obviously the sort of usual winter refits that are taking place, both motor and sail. Quite a lot of exciting things going on. I think our recent investment in Cockwell's is really starting to complement what we're doing.
It's a nice tender.
Yeah, well, beautiful. I mean, they do some amazing super yacht tenders, as well as the Dutchy range. There's a few of them coming over to the States, so that's a nice starting point.
That is indeed.
But yeah, there's lots of exciting things. But we're kind of growing, but carefully moving forward in terms of the scale, so we're in control.
Good. That's as it should be, right?
Yeah, I think so. But it's great to see Tristan here helping you and supporting you. That's how it should be.
Well, you know what? This is a proud daddy here for sure. To bring him in and I love how he's engaged with our industry and my peers and the confidence that he's building and everything he does is amazing. And to any other parents out there, believe in your kids, give them the opportunity to show up and be their genuine self. Because I watch him flourish and I get so many comments like that. Toby, thank you. That was really generous because he's a great kid and I think he's really growing through all of this, which is what we want. At the end of the day, the boats are cool, our business is cool, but family is so profoundly important. Yeah. And I'm a big proponent for that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And when both Stephen and Charlie and Ian back in Falmouth and Mike, of course, they all believe in that, and everybody spends a lot of time nurturing and growing the teams around making stuff.
It's important. I talk a lot about doing well for others in my conversations, and that includes how you bring your family and how you prioritize things in your life and your business. So that's good stuff. So Toby, I hope sometime I can get back to the shipyard and see what you've done over there. really want to see Villanova. I have some potential opportunities to get to the south of Spain here in the not too distant future. So if I can make that happen, I'll see if we can segue through. Barcelona is the best way to get in there, right?
Yeah. I mean, you arrive at the airport, it's 25 minutes. I mean, it's the same if you're in the center of Barcelona, it's 25 minutes south of there. So Miguel and Kirk and Ida and the team there would be really, really very happy to see you. I encourage you to go. It's an awesome setup.
We'll make it a priority for sure.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. And I guess maybe I'll see you on the other side of the pond in a few months.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Well, Toby, thanks for taking your time on this beautiful Saturday morning, enjoying our spectacular South Florida winter weather.
No, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. Right?
It's good to see you too, my friend.
All right.
Until the next time.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm out of here.